Hello everyone. It's been a long time since I've done a rant video. About a year, I would say. This video is going to be about math. Now, some of you know this, some of you don't. I teach math, physics, statistics for a living. All three of them on kind of a regular basis. I do some economics tutoring, and I call it tutoring, but that's not 100% accurate description. I do some economics as well. It's all at the college level. I don't work for a university. I run basically a small private school, and I call it a small private school because we call it a tutoring business, but it's classroom setting. I can have anywhere from 5 students at a time to 100. Quite often I get 100 students in to listen to me talk about statistics and math. And this rant is about basically those two subjects, math and statistics. Here's why. Over the years, and I've been doing this business for a long time, like 15, 20 years, I've come across only 3 or 4 people who truly could not do math. Most people can do math, they just hate it. And they've got a mental block saying they can't do it. But once I can get them past that mental block, they're fine. Here's where the mental block comes in. In elementary school, they do a math problem, and the teacher looks at them and goes, "Oh, you're no good at that." Or, "You did this wrong. You need to try a lot harder." Instead of encouraging, saying, "You made a little mistake there, keep going, you'll do better," it's more like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" And over the years, after a series of teachers who are like, "You are stupid at this, you can't do this," people start getting in their head that they can't, okay? And it's worse than that because there's another crop of math teachers who come in and say, "Well, here's how you work the problem," and then they work it the hardest way possible. So there's no way you can comprehend what they're doing. Now, why do they do that, you might ask? 1, maybe they don't know another way. 2, most likely it's to build their own egos. See, when they work the problem the hard way, they turn around and look at the students while they're working it, and they see the confused looks on their faces. It makes them feel better about themselves because they know how to do the problem, and you don't. And no matter how they explain it to you, you're never going to get it. So they can feel superior to you. All of this is very wrong as a teacher. Teachers should not behave this way. I'm going to do this. Right, Thunder? Should teachers behave this way? Exactly. No. Teachers should not behave this way. Right, Thunder? He's watching me. So I thought I would talk about it. Bring him on camera. Right, Thunder? Yeah, is math good? What do you think? Do you like the maths? Do you like physics? You know, applied math? Or about statistics, math with hand grenades, basically. I think he's done conversing with us. Okay. Ooh, I hit the manual button for something, the white manual button for, yeah. Let's hope it doesn't affect anything. This camera has more buttons than I know what to do with as a video camera. Now, let's see if that fixes it. Nope. There it goes. Now, getting back to what I was saying, none of this helps people learn math. When the teacher is trying to build their ego, that doesn't help you. When you get a bad teacher who can't work the problems themselves, that doesn't help you. When you get a teacher who, and this is a problem I have where I'm at, I do help sessions for Texas A&M University, and I've got some problems with a couple of departments who are trying to drive Q drops because they get revenue from Q drops. When you have problems with that, They are outright making the classes nasty hard for no good reason so that they get students a Q drop. Once the students Q drop, they have to take the class again. So they're getting $500 every semester. These students Q drop the class. This is how the department generates revenue. When you got all these unethical things going, you can't learn math and it makes you feel bad at it and it hurts you. Okay? What you guys need to do, and I know most of you who are watching this video, you're done with college, you got your real jobs, you got your families. This doesn't impact you much. For any students who happen to come across this, what you need to do when you're sitting in these classes and the teacher works the problem the bad way, just stop them and say, can you work that a different way? They're going to say, no, we don't have time for that. You stop them again and say, I'm paying you for this. It's your job to teach it properly. You're not teaching it properly. You call them out on it. You don't let them get away with this bad behavior. Okay? Now, on the flip side, you have to watch that because some of the math and physics people, they get angry when you do that. And when they get angry, they make bad tests. I've seen it. I've seen more than one teacher do that. I've seen a couple of teachers at Texas A&M University, I'm not going to name names, but they're there, who've pulled students aside after they've done that and said, you just failed my class. It's unethical and it's wrong, but sometimes they do that. So you have to judge the teacher and see if you can get away with that. Because if they're power tripping, at that point, you can't do anything. Once they have that authority over you and there's no controls coming out of their department, you are stuck dealing with them and their bad attitude. Okay? Unfortunately, this stuff happens. And I make a lot of money off people who are behaving that way. I hate to say it, but it's true because the students come to me and say, can you help me with this? I can't follow the teacher. I need to pass this class. I need help. And this is where I make my money, is helping the students overcome what these teachers are doing. What's the point to this? The point to this is when you feel like you can't do math, that's someone else. Someone else is putting this in your head. Someone else is giving you this inferiority complex. You need to sit down and tell yourself, I can do this. I can do this. And just work through it. Okay? This, I don't know. I don't know where this falls with my other rant videos. This one's just a little different. It's been prompted because lately I've had a lot of students who are being traumatized by their teachers. We have a work session every day right now with lots of drama. And the drama is because the students go to class and the teacher says, I'm going to make it easy on the next test. And then when they take the test, 4 or 5 of the questions out of 20 don't come from the material covered in class or covered in the textbook. And the teacher says, well, you know, you're supposed to think between the lines. No, that's a teacher being a jerk. Okay? The problem is this impacts the student lives. Some of them, if they don't pass this class, don't graduate. And the teacher doesn't care. So this is why I'm making the video. You can tell I'm a little passionate about this. I encounter it every day. I work through it every day. You know, I have students come up to me and say, the teacher took off points for how I work the problem. Well, in math and physics, there are multiple ways to get an answer. There always is. And with these multiple ways to get an answer, there is no reason for the teacher to say that other than they want to be a jerk. I'm using nice language here, you know, G, trying to use G-rated language. There's no reason for that other than the teacher's being a jerk. The teacher should recognize there are multiple ways to work it. And I'll be honest with you, quite often when the teacher says, well, you have to work it this way, it's because they really don't understand it any other way. They don't understand how to work the problem except for what they learned. Okay? For those of you that know this material, know physics, know statistics, know math, I could give you valid examples of what I'm talking about, but I'll lose most of the audience because they don't want to hear the math. They want to hear the rant. Just being honest with this. They don't want to hear the multiple ways of doing integration by substitution and how some of the methodology is wrong and some of the methodology is right by certain teachers' eyes. And their justification for it is very flimsy at best, why this method is wrong and this method is right. It tells me that they don't understand the process, okay? Or when you're finding absolute maximums and minimums in calculus, why you can't use parentheses on the interval, you can only use brackets. The teachers use in parentheses to keep the students from using calculators, but the theory doesn't work. Or in hypothesis testing, why HO should be greater than or equal to a number versus HA is less than a number, not HO, mu equals a number. You can't do mu equals a number. It doesn't work with the concept behind proof by contradiction. I get this stuff constantly, even at Texas A&M, which is a major university. The stat department at A&M is supposed to be one of the best in the nation, and they are constantly screwing over the students by not following through with the proper setup and the proper logic in their problems. It's wrong. They shouldn't be doing this. Why do they do it? Because they're pushing a quota on Q drops, or the teacher's got an ego. I don't get it. It hurts the students. It's not good. It's not proper form. Just telling it as it is. People don't want to hear this sometimes. Sometimes students go and complain about their teacher, and the head of the department just says, well, you know, it's how it is. You are not smart. Or they'll say something along those lines. It's not the student's stupid. You know, to get in Texas A&M, you have to be pretty damn intelligent. You can't just walk up and get in that school. They have 100,000 applications every semester, and they only accept 20. They turn away 4/5 of the students. So they only accept 20,000 out of 100,000 applications. People getting in there aren't stupid. Or dad has a crap ton of money and bought a building. It's one of the two. In the case that dad had a crap ton of money, those students don't care anyhow because they're getting through the classes. We're talking about the ones who put their heart and soul into college. They're trying to graduate, and up walks a teacher and goes, well, you know, 5 of those questions, you just have to change who you are. You can't answer that the way you are, so change your person. Those 5 questions aren't covered on the syllabus. They're not covered in the material. Well, you're smart enough to figure it out. Well, how's the student supposed to even know what the question's asking if it's never covered in class? It's not covered in the book. It's not covered in the class notes. This is what I'm complaining about, you know? Bad behavior by teachers. Now, we're talking about college level. This stuff happens at the high school level too. It happens at the middle school level as well. Those are different situations because the public schools are garbage these days. A bunch of politicians have come in and dictated how the schools are to be run, and a bunch of people have PhDs and masters in education, never stepping in front of a student, never walking into a classroom. So they have absolutely no concept of how to teach these students with the theories they're peddling and using. Common Core math, boy, you should look at some of that stuff. That comes to mind very quickly. To do a subtraction, the students are supposed to draw out a bunch of figures. They can't do 5 minus 3 is 2. They have to draw 5 sticks. They have to draw 3 sticks, take 3 sticks from 5 sticks to get 2 sticks. If they don't draw the sticks, the problem's wrong. As soon as they're specifying the problem, how to work the problem, you know something's wrong with what they're doing. Math can be done multiple ways. Again, it's all garbage. It's all people pushing agendas, pushing egos. None of that belongs in teaching. The elementary schools, high schools, middle schools, they need major reform. Major reform. Okay? The videos are on YouTube. All you have to do is type in elementary school rant. You'll find teachers who quit, who are ranting about how bad their jobs were. Okay? When you've got a principal who sits in your classroom once a day for 10 or 15 minutes, correcting you, telling you are wrong, constantly telling you you cannot teach, and then they expect you to have your achievement score test above a certain level, and when they're not above that level, they tell you you're garbage and you're wrong. when they've been micromanaging you. You are getting at work at 7:30 in the morning. You are leaving work at 7 p.m. at night. Yes, they do this to elementary school teachers who make barely $35,000 a year. And then after all the taxes and everything taken out, these people are bringing home $24,000 a year. They're working 12 or 13 hours a day with no breaks. Yes, they get their summers paid for. But does that mean they need to work 12 or 13 hours a day? Does that mean they have to be micromanaged? Does that mean that the principal at the end of the year goes through and looks for reasons to charge them $300 or $400 for missing books that turn up to be actually an inventory that the principal didn't bother to check to see if it was an inventory? And that happened to a few teachers I know. This is all garbage. It needs to quit. The stuff shouldn't be tolerated in our society. We shouldn't tolerate liars in political office. Yes, I went there. Okay? I'm not going into politics. I'm just saying things we shouldn't tolerate. We shouldn't tolerate theft in political office, lying in political office. We shouldn't tolerate any of that. We shouldn't tolerate it from teachers. We shouldn't tolerate it from police. Okay? We shouldn't tolerate it from leaders. Anyone who is lying, they shouldn't be our leaders. We should just get rid of them. If they're stealing, get rid of them. None of this should be tolerated, yet we do. I don't tolerate it. I catch an employee stealing, they're gone. They're terminated. I catch them lying, they're terminated. I'm not putting up with it. I don't need to. There's so many people wanting to work for me. I get on average 2 emails a week saying, I need a job. So I don't put up with it. Okay? So rant turned into a rant about mathematics, slowly morphed into public schools, and then morphed into lying and cheating. Okay? It is how it is. I'm getting passionate about things. I have another rant video I want to do later called Justification. We justify things in our lives. The teachers who are abusing their students do justify that behavior. Internally, is it proper? No. They justify it by saying, the students need to learn the material, so it's okay if I'm a little mean on them. Being mean stresses them a bit, but they learn better when they're stressed. It's actually modern theory of education. The students learn better when they're moderately stressed. That is not a theory of education. That's garbage. This person never taught students. This person doesn't care about their students' lives. Who came up with that theory? It's garbage. I'm going to tell you that right now. When I teach students, I don't teach them using stress as a learning tool. I try to remove the stress from the situation. They learn better when they're stress-free. They're happier. Okay? So we're going to talk about justification later because a lot of people justify what they're doing when they're wrong. So we're going to talk about justifying wrong behavior and how it works. I do it sometimes. I've been buying a lot of Star Wars models from HobbyLink Japan. I justify it because they drive viewership to my YouTube channel. I can't really afford to buy them right now. I have nowhere to put them when I buy them. But I am buying them with that justification in mind. Is there a good reason for it? Taxes. Honestly, federal income tax. I get the price of the kit removed from my income at the end of the year because I declare my income from YouTube on my taxes, and that kit is heavily featured on YouTube, and my YouTube channel is about model building, so I can deduct the cost of that kit against the revenue of the YouTube channel. My YouTube channel does lose revenue. It doesn't, I don't make a profit on it. I lose money. I spend more on model kits than I get in revenue from YouTube. That's fine because my other business generates more revenue than cost. I use the YouTube channel to offset the revenue generated from the other costs. So this is why I justify buying those Star Wars kits. You see how it works? We're going to have a long talk about that later. Okay? And I need to go through and talk about a few things, so we'll have a channel update soon too. Life has been interesting as of late. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the rant about math. Just remember, if you're having to do some math problems and you're getting down, it's the teacher, not you, that's most likely to blame. if you take a test on mathematics and the average comes back at 40, and the teacher's like, you all are stupid. Y'all are just damn stupid. You don't know what you're doing. You just screwed up. I mean, come on. This problem was not hard. I don't know what is wrong with you. You look at that teacher and go, you're in control of the test. The average is bad because you made a bad test. That's how that works. If the average is bad, the teacher made a bad test. It's not the students that are at fault. It's the teacher at fault because they're far more in control of the content of the class than the students are. Okay? And that's how that works. I'm calling it as it is. A lot of people don't like hearing this. So a lot of teachers will not like hearing this. I'm sure some people are going to find this video doing random searches on YouTube. They're going to just type math in there because they want help with math, and they're going to find this. I'm going to get some bad comments on this one. And they're all going to be people who teach math. I'm going to get some, yeah, you tell it, brother, comments from the people who have taken math classes and hated their teachers. We know that. Okay? Again, the bad teacher's the problem. If you're feeling bad at math, you're not the problem. I've only had 4 or 5 students over the years. And just so you have an idea in numbers, each year I have probably, now this doesn't count me because I have a bunch of employees too. We have probably every year about 4,000 students come through my office a year. Maybe 5,000 students a year come through my office. And I've only had 5 or 6 over the last 15 years who couldn't do math. You need to think about that for a minute. So if you're having problems with math, it's not you. It's your teacher. Having problems with physics, it's not you. It's your teacher. Okay, I told some students I was going to do this tonight, make this rant video, and they're like, can I be on it? So I might take the camera to work tomorrow and just let some students rant and attach it to the end of the video, or make a secondary video on student rants about their teachers. Okay, but if that happens, I have to wait till the end of the semester, so they don't get their grades affected by it. Now, that might be fun. They might like doing it. So I'll take the camera and let's see what happens. Hey, I gotta go. I gotta get to bed. One of my problems is I'm taking care of the baby in the mornings. It's past midnight and she will be up at 8 a.m. No getting her go back to sleep. 10-month-old baby wakes up when the 10-month-old baby wakes up, and I wake up with her because I take care of her. There's no one else to take care of her during the day. So when she's up, I'm up. You can't just put her in a crib because she cries. Some of you will say, she can learn to be happy in the crib. Not this one. She's trying to push the crib over to get out. Yeah, she's got me in her. Okay? Watch Big Bang Theory. I'm a cross between Sheldon and Leonard at times. Think about how those guys would behave if you lock them in a place. They're going to sit down and try to figure out how to get out. That's what that baby does. Okay? Anyhow, we're not here to talk about baby problems. You know, hashtag baby problems. We're here to say goodnight. I will talk to you guys later. I'm taking the camera to work tomorrow. Let's see what we get. Bye. About it.
I hate math, physics, and statistics, and that's why I'm an accounting major and not an engineering major.
Whenever you're ready.
Video, he has no filter.
I don't care. I have no filter. We're even.
So this is the thing about chemistry. It's a non-life science. We're humans, we're living, why do I need it? I don't understand because I'm an education major. No 5th grader is going to come up to me and be like, Professor, Teacher, Instructor Burris, what is a molecular compound of NaCl, negative, positive, whatever? They're going to be like, can I have recess extra? I'm like, yes, you can, because you didn't ask me these questions that I don't care about. I'm going to make sure that you're sitting in your desk, you're doing everything polite, because chemistry does not matter in the real world unless that's your passion, and I understand if that's your passion, go for it. It is not mine. It's not. And the fact is, I'm taking general chemistry, and the fact that I'm in a tutoring session paying multiple times, on the top of the fact that I had to pay $1,000 for this class, on top of that you're telling me as a professor that I should be reading, and take no consideration of the fact that I'm working 2 jobs just to pay for your class, pretty sure you're an inconsiderate little see you next Tuesday. So, chemistry, It's not my forte. Will never be my forte. And I'm pretty sure that if everyone in the class of my class is in a group me saying how bad this professor is and that we need a petition to go talk to the Blinn Dean, I think you need to review Dr. Wharton, quote unquote Dr. Wharton.
That fits in exactly with my video I made. We're great. Is that what you want? Yes, we use that in physics today.